Alright, so some people were having problems viewing the work I was doing on the board, so I'm going to try a different format. Alright, so let's look at the following problem. We have 5 parentheses, which really means what? Good. Times. So we have 5 times x plus 1, and we're going to set that equal to 20. Alright, so here is what we're going to do in this case. So let me use a different color. What I want to do first is I want to get rid of this 5. So this 5 right here, I want to get rid of it. So I need to ask myself, well, what's happening to that 5? Well, notice I just put a dot right here. So I know that 5 is being multiplied times x plus 1. So we ask ourselves, okay, what is the opposite of multiplication? Well, we know the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide each side by 5. And remember, I still have my invisible wall right here. So I want to divide each side of that wall by 5. So I divide that side by 5, and I divide this side by 5. So I could see, well, this 5 will cancel with this 5, and 20 divided by 5 will leave me with 4 over here. And on my left hand side, I'll be left with x plus 1. Alright, so now this problem looks a little bit easier, because now I know how to solve this from our other examples in class. Alright, so how do I get rid of that 1 here? How do I get rid of this guy? Well, notice I'm adding 1 to x. So what's the opposite of adding 1? Good. Subtracting 1. So I'm going to subtract 1 from the left side, and I'm going to subtract 1 from the right side. Alright? So we're going to be left with these guys canceling. So it's going to leave me with x. And that's going to be equal to 4 minus 1, 3. So x equals 3 is our solution. So that's actually what I want to see in your guys' work. And of course, don't forget to check. So how do we check? Well, let's go back to the original equation. 5 times x plus 1. But now, right here for x, we now know we're going to put our answer, which is 3. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me scroll down here. Let's do that. So we're going to have 5. We have x plus 1. And this is going to be how we check. So this is going to be how we're going to check here. Alright. So instead of writing the x now, I know I'm going to put in our answer, which was a 3. And everything else stays the same. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the order of operations. So I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. So in my parentheses, I have 3 plus 1. So 3 plus 1 will give me 4. And I'll just copy everything on down. So now I got 5 times 4, which is 20, equals 20. Good. So it checks out. Alright, so let's look at a different example here. So we'll call this guy example 2. Alright, so what I want to look at here is something like this. 7y minus 3 equals 4y minus 15. Sorry, that's ugly. But you could write it neater in your notes. Okay, so here's our invisible wall again. So our goal, let's write down our goal. Our goal is to pass this class. No, our goal is to get y on one side of the equal sign. So that's our goal. We want to get y, whatever our letter is, on one side of our equal sign. So basically, we want all the y's to be on one side and all the numbers to be on the other side. So that is going to be our main objective here. Alright? So let me clear things up so I could start working on this. And looks like that's not going to work, so I'm going to have to scroll down here. So let me start right here on a fresh piece of paper. I know I'm just wasting all this paper here. New model. Alright, so here we go. We got 7y minus 3 equals 4y minus 15. Alright, so I'm going to draw my invisible line. Alright, so I'm going to choose to put all my y's on the left hand side. Does it matter? Absolutely not. So notice, if I want to focus on this guy right here, how am I going to move that positive 4y to my left hand side of that wall? Well, since it's positive, I know I'm going to subtract. So actually, let me get rid of that line so it doesn't confuse anyone. I'm going to subtract 4y from both sides. And notice, I'm only going to subtract the 4y from this guy, because this is the guy right here, this 7y, that's the guy that has a y in it. Notice, I'm not subtracting it from 3. I'm not subtracting it from 3 because the 3 does not have a y in it. So I'm only subtracting it from the one that has the y. So what happens over here? Bam. They cancel. So now if I look at this, 7y minus 4y on my left hand side, I'm looking right here at these two guys. I could see, alright, 7y minus 4y, that's going to leave me with 3y. Did I do anything with this 3 right here? No, so I'm going to copy it on down. Alright, don't forget your equal sign. Those of you watching in TV land, and did I work with this negative 15 over here? I did not. So because I did not work with it, I'm just going to copy it on down. Minus 15. Alright, so now you ask yourselves, do I have the y by itself? No. So now this 3 doesn't have a number with a letter with it. So that's why I'm going to move it to the other side with all the numbers that don't have a y. So this 3 will cancel with this 3, and it'll leave me with 3y on one side, and I got negative 15 plus 3, which turns out to be negative 12. Alright, so what's my last step? I have 3 times y. So how am I going to get rid of that 3? Well, again, we're going to do the opposite. So the opposite of multiplication, division. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. So we're going to end up with y, and that was a negative 12, sorry, equals negative 4. And now y is all by itself, so that's how we know we are finished. Alright, so hopefully with that you could do a few more of those practice problems I left on the website for you. Let me know if you have any problems. I'm about to make a new video for you guys, so stay tuned.